Another video, another day. So yeah, inspired once again by the things I'm reading, the things that I'm looking at on online, and this time I've got to stop rolling my eyes. I've noticed that I do roll my eyes a little bit when I'm talking, but that's just purely when I'm thinking. So I will try and maintain eye contact as much as I can. Okay, two parts to this little video shot here. Um, the first part is this weekend we've been talking about Zen masters. Now, Zen masters for me and the family, I suppose, currently, are these people who are placed here to test you. Now, it could be in a relationship, it could be your spouse, it could be somebody on the street, it could be somebody driving 30 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, but that's the law. These are the people who are there to test you. And if you treat them in that way, then I think you find it's a little bit more fun and brightens what would otherwise be a kind of stressful situation. So, who is your Zen master today? And what are they going to teach you about tolerance, and what are they going to teach you about mastering yourself? So that was the first part. The second part of this little sort of punchy video is that I think what I'm doing at the moment is on these pages, on this page, sorry, is I do a lot of quotes. I do enjoy them, and they do mean a lot to me in terms of the reading that I'm doing. Um, and arguably, you could say that, well, that's not my original thought. But I wonder what is, and I wonder what, and I have had this conversation with people before where I've said, what is an original thought? But this idea of plagiarizing other people's um, work or other people's quotes is something I'm quite happy to do. And I'm sure we do that. The stuff that we learn is the stuff we pass on. And this is what I want to really talk about. So anything that I come up with on these could be original, but it could be something that is has been used before or said before. But I think if we're sharing it, then there may be somebody who hasn't heard it quite yet. Um, my previous video was talking about transcending the polarities in life and this idea that we have to move above arguing between right and wrong. And this kind of moves into something else because the idea of transcendence can actually cover a wide load of topics. And the one I wanted to talk briefly about on this video is transcending labels. I think once we get into the idea that we are part of a particular group, part of this polarity, we almost feel as though we have to identify with a said group to therefore take on their opinions and therefore create further separateness. So I think if you are able to transcend labels as well, then as well as polarized thinking, then I think you're on the right track. Some people need to identify with groups in order to feel connected, and that's perfectly fine because I think the moment you start to think outside of the box, or the moment that you become a fringe dweller, which is another sort of phrase I like, or the moment when you approach the tribal thinking and say, look, I don't want to be part of this. I don't think what you're doing is right. I'm going to try and have some original thoughts. Then you do feel vulnerable. So people try and, I suppose, identify with a group in order to feel secure. The problems incurred with that, I think, is, as I've said on one of my pictures recently, is if you follow the herd, you're going to step in shit, basically. Sorry, but that's a lovely phrase, and I totally associate with it. I just think there is far too many of us following along, doing the do, and then complaining about it. And I think it's important to transcend that. So, to coin a phrase of my own, hopefully, I'm going to use this one. And for me, these pages are something that I've said before and time again. I'm doing it for me, but I'm also doing it to share. So plagiarizing, call you what it will, what you know, call it what you will. It's very much a working project for me, project me, if you like. So I'm in it for good, and in that phrase, when you look at it, that's all I'm doing it for. I'm in it for good. I'm doing good things. I'm trying to do good things for me. So I like that one. So be in it for good. And if you're feeling as though your Zen master is in front of you, then it might change your opinion of them. Maybe if they're slowing you down on the motorway, they may be slowing you down for a reason and keeping you away from an accident. So, who is your Zen master? And plagiarizing is good. I'm in it for good.